YouTubers, how are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Rosa J, doing it God's way each and every day. And it's a good God morning. It is relatively cold here. I really am not a fan of winter in any place except for the Caribbean. Someplace where it's warm. That's where I desire. Good morning, Clarence. How are you? I am Rosa J. Yes, it is. So I'm looking at this phone because the new phones kind of record you and everything. Anyway, I am doing and we are studying A Course in Miracles. Yes, A Course in Miracles. How to do and see and be different from what we were taught to be, different from what others believe to be true, different from the race consciousness, that consciousness that we accepted and think, oh, that's the truth, before we even think about it. So we started out with realizing that everything has been imaged in our brains as something other than what it really is. So we went through nothing I see means anything. The images of my mind are just pictures that someone told us that's what it is. For example, this was told that it was a coffee cup, but it could be anything. We could have named it a chair. The chair I'm sitting in could have been named something else, but because everybody thinks it's a chair, there it is. So we're into the idea that we more or less can control our minds. So yesterday our lesson was lesson 27. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see. Today's lesson is above all else, I want to see things differently. I want to see things differently, different than what my emotions tell me they are, different from what my mind tells me it is. I want to see things differently. So today we are really giving specific application to yesterday's idea. In these practice periods, you will be making a series of definite commitments. The question of whether you will keep them in the future is not our concern here. Whether it will change permanently or stay the same or not change at all, that's not important. These questions of whether you will, like I said again, keep them, doesn't matter. If you are willing at least to make them now, you have started on the way to keeping them. The mere fact that you are willing. And we are still at the beginning. So we're still here at the beginning. We're still at the first couple of steps towards freedom of our mind and our consciousness. So it doesn't really matter whether you keep them or you say them all the time. The idea is that you are willing, and the universe realizes this. So things will start happening. You may wonder why it is important to say, for example, above all else, I want to see this table differently. Above all else, I want to see my child differently. You may wonder why. In itself, it is not important at all. Yet, what is by itself? Nothing we do is alone. Nothing we see is alone. Everything has rippling effects. And what does in itself mean? You see a lot of separate things about you, which really means you are not seeing at all. You either see or not. When you have seen one thing differently, you will see all things differently. How many people have heard how you do one thing is how you do everything? Well, it applies here. How you see one thing is how you see everything. The light you will see in any one of them is the same light you will see in them all. Well, um, because remember, we studied nothing is different. Everything is the same. We have emotions that fit all kinds of things that we see. It's the same emotion, either we like it or we don't, we love it or we hate it. It's the same thing. When you see above all else, when you say above all else, I want to see this table differently, you are making a commitment to withdraw your preconceived ideas about the table and open your mind to what it is and what it is for. You are not defining it from past terms. You are asking what it is rather than telling it what it is. You are not binding its meaning to your tiny experience of tables, nor are you limiting the purpose of that in your tiny personal thoughts. Don't get offended. Just listen. Yes, let's not get offended. But you may be feeling angst and anxiety or want to describe or define what this is all about. Just say it. You will not question what you have already defined. And the purpose of these exercises is to ask questions and receive answers. In saying above all else, I want to see things differently, you are committing yourself to seeing it is not an exclusive commitment. It is a commitment that applies to the table just as much as it applies to anything else. Neither is more or less. More important or less important. You just say it. You could, in fact, gain vision from just that table if you would withdraw all your own ideas from it. Just open and look upon it with completely open mind. So when you look at these things and you say the thought for today, just be open to receive a message. It may be the same, it may be different. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same. You could, in fact, gain vision from just that table or anything else if you would withdraw all of your own ideas from it and look upon it with a completely open mind. It has something to do with you, something beautiful and clean and, and, and of infinite value, full of happiness and hope, hidden under all your ideas about it and what is its real purpose. Hmm. The purpose it shares with all the universe. Oh, Lord, have mercy back on that. Opening your mind to the other purposes of anything that you see. Being clear of judgment, an idea that you already know. You already know, but you don't. We don't. We really don't not. No, this journey is about seeing with the eyes behind the eyes. Seeing with those and developing those spiritual eyes. But first we have to let go of those old ideas. Right? And using the table as the subject for applying the idea for today, you are therefore really asking to see the purpose of the universe. You will be making the same request of each subject that you use in the practice period. And you are making a commitment to each of them to let its purpose be revealed to you instead of placing your own judgment on it. See, if I ask for help, I can't describe what kind of help I want. I have to just listen for the help. Listen for the enlightenment. Listen to see things differently. We will have 6 2-minute practices periods today in which the idea for the day is starting first. Is stated first. The idea for today is to be stated first, and then go into specifics. Whatever you see, you change that into I am. Above all else, I am willing to see this table differently. Above all else, I am willing to see my face differently. Above all else, I am willing to see the world differently. Above all else, I am willing to see my boss differently, my children differently, my wife differently, my husband differently, my significant other differently. Above all else, whatever comes in your sight, you are willing to see it differently. So now, excuse me, not only should the subjects be chosen randomly, but each one should be accorded equal sincerity as the day's idea is applied to it in the attempt to acknowledge the equal value of them, all in their contribution to your seeing. I know this sounds heavy, but it's not. But if it does bring along some things that you want to explain to yourself, don't do it. Just say it. As time goes on and as we do these lessons, things will become equally free. Judgment will seem to fall from your mind, and you can live openly and honest. As usual, the application should include the name of the subject you eye upon to light on, and you should rest your eyes on it while saying, above all else, I want to see and fill in the blank differently. You know, I have an issue with cold weather. So above all else, I want to see the weather differently. Above all else, I want to see me having to walk to work differently. Above all else, I want to see my job differently. When you get there, or if you don't, above all else, I want to see the kettle differently. Above all else, I want to see this statue differently. Above all else, I want to see the picture differently. And you say this 5 or 6 times. if you remember. And if you don't remember, don't worry about it. Whenever you do, just say it and look at what you're talking about. Each application should be made quite slowly and as thoroughly as possible. There is no hurry. We have all the time in the world. So I am Rosa J, doing it God's way each and every day. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rosa Hodge YouTube.com is the page. I'm on there. And then like the I Am Affirmations page. Be blessed. Have a good, warm, comfortable, amazing day. And may you have the guidance of God, the universe. Amen. Amen. Yay. Yay, 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 yay. I am. Above all else, I want to see things different.